KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Amanda Rowley. Let's get started. Taking a live look on Capitol Hill, just moments ago, the Senate officially passed a spending bill to fund the government through March. The move averts a government shutdown just ahead of the holidays. It now goes to President Biden, who is expected to sign off. In the meantime, all government agencies will remain open. Earlier today, the House voted to approve the spending deal in their third attempt this week. The plan strips much of what was in the original bill. A convicted killer is now charged with 2 more murders involving a mother and daughter in Stevens County in a case that languished for 27 years. Today, that suspect appeared before a judge via Zoom. In 1997, police discovered Marlene and Cassie Emerson had been killed after their neighbor reported loud explosions and a fire. Investigators found Marlene's body at the site of the fire, but police later found her 12-year-old daughter dead in a nearby wooded area. Court documents say investigators found DNA that implicated Charlie Tatum in the crime, but until now, witnesses failed to give accurate information. Court documents say Marlene associated with a motorcycle club in the Colville area. Investigators believe the murders may have been an attempt for Tatum to gain higher status within the group.
Part of the delay in being able to charge this case comes from the fact that witnesses are extremely fearful.
The county prosecutor says there are 53 people listed as witnesses in this case. Tatum is scheduled back in Stevens County Court on December 31st. Right now, University of Idaho students are worried about what their campus will look like after the holiday break. The Idaho Board of Education passed a resolution banning all offices involving diversity, equity, and inclusion. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy reports tonight on how that could affect Idaho University students.
Well, at University of Idaho, there are 5 offices that will be impacted with this decision. We spoke with one student who says she, as well as many others, may not have the same resources when they come back to school next fall. Changes are coming to the University of Idaho.
The emotions, the frustration, and the sadness have definitely started to hit.
Aaliyah Schmidt is a diversity scholar at U of I. It's a financial scholarship students can apply for that goes towards their tuition.
I do kind of rely on as many scholarships as I can get.
But she worries that funding won't be available anymore.
This is money that I've been relying on since I joined the program.
The Idaho Board of Education unanimously passed a resolution on Wednesday banning diversity, equity, and inclusion offices across campus. This could mean DEI scholarships will no longer be available to students attending Idaho public universities.
I think on many campuses across this country, the way it has been implemented has created real problems.
That's board member Kurt Liebig at Wednesday's meeting, advocating for the DEI office ban. The resolution says the decision is intended to ensure institutions don't use personal characteristics in decisions for campus jobs, educations, or initiatives. The DEI offices on university campuses will start closing in the spring semester.
I hope that our students know that we are here for them and that resources are available and that they can continue to feel welcome at University of Idaho.
Jody Walker with U of I says despite the closure of DEI offices, students can still form clubs and gather. But Schmidt says after speaking with other diversity scholars, the resolution affects their education.
Financially, we'll be okay for next semester, but come fall of 25, that scholarship won't be a thing anymore. So there are students who are talking about not being able to come back next academic year.
Walker says the official number of returning students remains to be seen.
It's going to take some time to get all of the right supports in the right places. But we are definitely there for our students and we will all work through that together.
The resolution requires all related campus offices to close no later than June 30th. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Well, weather-wise, the skies are looking pretty gray this upcoming week. Meteorologist Michelle Boss is here to give us details on what to expect. Hi, Michelle.
Hi. Yeah, this time of year you would expect with gray skies you'd probably eventually see some snow falling out of them, but we've had some very mild weather so far this month and that trend is going to continue. So we're going to be talking about a lot of rain in the forecast for this weekend and even into Christmas. Right now, though, things are dry, and in fact, we're seeing some breaks in the clouds. So partly to mostly cloudy skies overnight. We may even even be able to hang on to some of that clearer sky first thing tomorrow morning. So we won't start off the day wet, but we will certainly be ending the day on a soggy note on Saturday. 34 right now in Spokane, 34 in Coeur d'Alene. We may drop a couple more degrees, but then as clouds work their way back in, temperatures should not get below freezing here locally, and looking for highs back up towards 40. Short-term forecast looks like this. Dry weather through tomorrow morning. The rain moves in for the afternoon, and another round of rain comes in Sunday evening. So wet weather for both Saturday and Sunday, highs both days in the 40s.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Now tonight, be with a quick look at the day's top stories. A domestic elk tested positive for chronic wasting disease in Madison County, Idaho. Idaho Fish and Game says this marks the first case of CWD identified in a captive elk facility in Idaho. The infected animal was among a group of elk transported to an Idaho ranch in March last year from a facility in Alberta, Canada. Currently, there is no record of CWD infections occurring in people. A 15-year-old girl is missing in Stevens County. Ariel Feliciano was last seen on Tuesday in Loon Lake. She may possibly be traveling to Illumination. She's described as 5'3", weighing 110 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. If you see her, please call 911. And we're also following a developing story out of Eastern Washington University tonight. There's been a data breach. The breach affects current and former student workers going back to 1997. They warn the breach may include social security numbers, addresses, phone numbers, and dates of birth. EW is partnering with IDX to offer identity theft protection to those affected. You can reach out to sign up for those services to the email there on your screen. You can also find it on KREM.com. You must reach out, though, before December 31st. EW also recommends taking your own precautions. That includes placing a fraud alert or freezing your credit card, regularly checking your credit reports, and reporting identity theft to identitytheft.gov. Any former student or temporary employees with questions can contact Eastern Washington University Human Resources Office as well. And that was your night beat. To learn more about any of these top stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. Well, Starbucks workers are walking off the job in 3 major cities, including one here in Washington. Workers gathered at the Starbucks Reserve in Seattle this afternoon. The union representing more than 10,000 Starbucks baristas is citing unresolved issues over wages, staffing, and schedules.
It's now or never, because over the last bargaining session, we have found that Starbucks is backsliding on their promise to finish the contract by the end of the year. We want it by the end of the year. We wanted a contract for Christmas, and instead we're seeing that Starbucks is slowing down. They're not willing to work with us as much. And so we thought we'd give them a little bit of encouragement ahead of Christmas to see if they wanted to shape up a bit.
In a statement to our sister station, King 5, Starbucks says the union is proposing an immediate increase in the minimum wage by 64% and 77% over 3 years. But the company says this isn't sustainable. Starbucks adds there has been no significant impact to store operations. Now, for the second day in a row, Teamster workers and delivery drivers walked the picket lines at Amazon facilities. From New York and Georgia to California and Illinois, they are demanding better pay and working conditions.
We want to make sure that every customer gets their packages, but we also need what we deserve.
But Amazon says these workers are not their employees, and they are only seeing protests, not strikes, at a handful of its facilities. Amazon says only about 1% of its workforce are union members, and that some of the people demonstrating outside their facilities actually work for third-party contractors. And that was KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.